right now, they have the potential to do it, I would say.
Definitely true. They do have the potential, and I think they do also have maybe fate smiling upon them, right? Because SPT, no matter what they seem and try to do, it just hasn't been their face. They were losing more maps than ever before, and maybe, you know, the stars just haven't aligned for SPT. Maybe it's time for the One to overtake them once and for all. Maybe it is time for CE to become Chinese champions after the last time they were able to in early 2017. You know, every reign has come to come to an end, and maybe this is now for SPT to maybe drop their title once and for all.
We'll have to find out. They have the opportunity to turn it round. We'll see if they can do it. As SPT, they're starting off with a garage, starting off quite normal again for this game. This is their map. This is their home. They know this. They're in Dragonshire.
All right, so they started off with the garage last time as well, so the garage alone doesn't mean that we're going to see a standard draft from SPT. Now, of course, BOE. I would actually say that BOE is a little bit more of a forgiving map if you wanted to go for something super crazy, because either it's going to work or it's not going to work at all, and the game at least is going to be short. But I think the map offers more opportunities for you to actually land that momentum, to go for those surprise plays, because let's face it, Infernal Shrines is very predictable, right? I think Soa always had the prediction to where SPT was moving, to where they would initiate from. On BOE, I think you can actually catch enemies off guard a little more.
Speaking of catching enemies off guard, if SPT drafts normally, we'll probably see them going with their usual style, Greymane, Li Mings, maybe a Blaze in there, to just control the map in general. If they play like they have been playing the last 2 days, or the last couple days, in fact,
yeah,
they might revert to an old classic. One of the first heroes we saw them playing, the Cho'Gall. And I'm sorry to put that in the minds of the audience, because now they're going to be disappointed when it doesn't happen. But they've done it before.
I'm down for it. I think if you want to be a special snowflake, then you better go and become a big special snowflake. And I think Cho'Gall actually has what it takes. BOE is one of his better maps. You don't have to worry about getting out-soaked. You don't have to worry about getting out-poked. I think you can definitely make things happen here. And you're right. SPT did it in the past in, I think it was late 2017, in one of those later phases. And they won with it. You know what?
Yeah. They won with everything they put out, though. They won with Twin Blades. That was the whole point of SPT at that time.
Okay.
Genji Uther, it's not out the question. That's a concerning draft there.
I hate to crush everyone's streams, but I think with an Uther, you cannot sustain a Cho'Gall.
Against what, though? There's no Tychus currently. There's no Malthael currently. It's Poke from Junkrat.
You know, okay, I'll give you a last resort. I'll give you one more chance to maybe make it a reality. If they don't pick any counters, like, let's say, a Greymane, a Nubarak, or something along those lines, maybe there is going to be a slight, faint hope of Cho'Gall here. But right now, I think it looks more like
I'm giving it like a 4% chance.
I'll give it a 1.36% chance.
All right. Not a 6.5? Neither of us want to go that high?
not a 6.5.
So then, let's see what Soa does ban out here. In terms of also SPT copying the ones draft currently, as we see Soa banning out the Cassia. They does certainly like this. That's a percentage damage hero, but it's also a great immortal race hero, so this doesn't actually tell us anything.
They banned the Greymane. Maybe they don't want to face the Cursed Bullet. Now, I wonder if Soa is smelling something fishy here. Because up to this point, SPT is going for a very much the 1S draft, like as you said, with the Uther Genji, the Garage proving to be a very neutral front line at this point. So yeah, are Soa willing to pick something preemptive just because they're a little afraid of the Cho'Gall here? Now, let's actually talk about some of the heroes that they could pick for that regard then. Tychus could also be good against Garage, so that wouldn't really be something out of the ordinary. They could go for a Nubarak. We have seen many Nubaraks in the past just like that, especially from the one. Let's see.
It's an interesting scenario. They need Immortal Race. They have a potential solo laner in the form of the Junkrat already. So they can, if they want to, forego that, or at least hide that until last. There's Tychus. Very sensible, but covering your bases. It's good against Garrosh anyway, so it makes sense. And Arthas, they're expecting something else to come with that Uther, and that makes sense too.
Yeah, I mean, Arthas counters the aggressive playstyle of some of the other heroes that SPT could have locked in quite well. Arthas is a beautiful hero to also have near your own Immortal to defend it, because you slow down the advance of charging enemy heroes. Now, SPT, how much are they willing to step out of the ordinary again? Are they going to play it normally? Are they willing to take a risk? How important is that one potential point they can get out of this series to them?
What can they run if they want to play it normally? We see if we're going by just normal styles, Malthael would fit in here pretty well, I believe. Good solo laner for them. Good way to deal with potential of the Arthas especially. Puts pressure on whoever the second solo laner is, seeing as Sonya would be the most obvious one right now. So I would lean towards a Malthael, and then a second damage dealer to set up for the Genji.
All right. They're going all the way down to 0, Tetcher. They go for Maiev and Malthael. No crazy shenanigans this time around. So they go for something that Soa used so well against them last game for the Maiev. So now they're trying to make that Warden's Cage work. They're trying to lock them down for Malthael to maybe unlock and unload the Tormented Souls.
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
So wait, what's melee for SPT? What is range? They have this. They have Genji with Shuriken ranged. Everything else is basically melee.
Yeah. I mean, they're very melee heavy, don't get me wrong. Arthas is going to have a good time against that.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I would say you have no issue with either running. Okay, Zarya is really not what I was thinking. I was thinking you could pretty reasonably be have the argument of going for a Muradin here. Just go even more attack speed slow.
All right. I am starting to get a little worried here for both teams, quite honestly. So on the one hand, Tetcher, I think Soa has what it takes to beat SPT, with that Arthas looking very strong on paper. On the other hand, they picked Zarya, and Zarya just wasn't really lucky when it comes to getting wins for their respective teams, right? So can they do it? I mean, if there's one team that can do it, I think it's Soa, because they themselves played Zarya so many times in the past.
This is true. This was one of Uncle G especially's favorite heroes, so it's an interesting hero to pick up, but one that could certainly benefit the Arthas, one that could certainly benefit the Tychus in terms of that extra mobility, chase to get minigun value, or move engage potential to get those throws and wastes down. But overall, this is certainly a more standard draft by SPT, but it's super all-in. It requires like everyone to all-in at once to really, really get max value.
On the other hand, of course, we do have a lot of playmaking capabilities here for SPT, and they finally seem to have woken up, right? So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to see a close game either way. I think both teams are really trying to fight to the max here. On the left-hand side with SPT currently down 0-1 against Soa. Molly on that Malthael. Melody C's playing his baby boy Genji. Misaka's playing Garrosh. Soap is on the Maiev, and ZZH on Uther.
And Sora on the right, Faye on Junkrat, Uncle G on Zarya, TY on Malfurion, Kalong on Arthas, and Sorry playing the Tychus.
All right, everything is on the line here for Team SPT if they want to salvage this situation. And if they want to get that 1 point that they so desperately need in order to stay close to the 1, because they too did give in a little bit, and they too missed the opportunity to get additional points today against KT earlier.
And such, we see the harassment beginning in the top lane. Arthur's splitting the stacks. This is familiar. Last time, someone attempted to copy this versus SPT, and that person died. You can see, though, that Soa not reacting in kind. Their fountain's just gone now.
Yeah, and that is the fountain. That means, of course, that they're not going to have that fountain ready at that first timeout, or at that first halftime show. So already they're going to have to walk way longer distances to get that healing. That could prove to be quite a significant advantage for SPT. Cute little move by Melody C. He was actually the first one who did it when I saw it for the very first time myself.
Yeah, I agree. He's the first one who really brought that to popularity. No one copied. It took over a year for someone to copy him, but now we see it being used every now and again. as we see the poke onto the mercenary camp. SPT looking to contest this. LDC is in position. Garrosh doesn't even move on. He was thinking about it, decides against it.
All right, there we go. Mercenary camp going over to Soa. They're looking pretty good up to this point. Zarya, by the way, going for the grenade build once again. Demolition's Expert is a beautiful thing to have, especially when it comes to long-distance poke, to keep the enemies at bay, to chunk them down ever so slightly, but ever so deadly.
Harassment comes in from those Impaler camps, from the Khazra. Soap brands the Tether, pulls Klong back into tower range, but it's Arthas. He is very tanky.
Yeah, Arthas is very tanky indeed, and if you think about it, with the exception of Malthael, there's, for the most part, physical damage available, right? Especially if Maiev doesn't land all of her abilities onto the Arthas, he's going to be very, very resilient. Well, speaking of the Casus Curse, he doesn't get all of his resilience when he's getting tossed in by Garrosh, and I think that's exactly what happened there.
I would agree. I think that's a very fair assessment of what probably happened due to where Arthas' corpse landed. But it is interesting as well to me that Uther even went for the Hammer of the Lightbringer. It's easy enough to stack in lane and on the objective here, but you're not going to get as much value out of the cooldown reduction on mana aspect that you might have got considering your entire team is melee and will likely group up out of maybe the Holy Radiance build.
All right, here we go. Both Bruiser camps have been taken, so they will pressure the side lanes respectively. Always nice to time them for as long, or to stall them for as long as possible. You want to wait until the timer's like 3 seconds, 4 seconds, or 5 seconds, and here we go. Both mercenary camps marching towards. Actually, SPT did a wonderful job timing their mercenary camps together. Look at that. The Impalers and the Fallen Shamans now all working together. That bottom lane is so scary, they even need to put Junkrat here to defend it.
Soa, though, responding by pushing in with their mercenary camp. They take down the entire front wall. However, SPT, they decide to just start working on the Immortal. Okay, you have 4 people up here. That's fine. We'll start burning down your Immortal with our percentage damage. Molly, though, starting to get in trouble. In comes Garrosh and Uther now. Front line, Klong taking a huge amount of damage, and Genji, very slow, very methodically, picks up the kill at the reset. Turns around for another one, and gets it with ease. And SPT, very, very calm at the start of the game in the way that they are absolutely crushing.
All right, yep. Absolutely well said here. I think Soa is in a little bit of trouble right now. The curse of Zarya, it still persists, and they just can't seem to be winning those team fights decisively enough. Now, halftime show is here. Look at the health bars. They're still a little low. So if Soa were to regroup and try to invade the red Immortal yet again, try to defend it, they could maybe be successful. But they're already quite late. Look at how the Immortal health is getting chunked down so heavily, so quickly.
Zaka takes a little bit of damage from Tychus, but not enough to really put the pressure on. And yeah, it's all good if you can defend this for a while, but if no one's doing the enemy Immortal, getting the shield down, what are you gaining from this? The answer is they're looking for a kill. Looking to try and be sneaky here, even with Genji though. Wraparound from the side, Maiev is the target, pulls Klong away from his allies. But surprise, LDC just wraps around, pokes the Immortal a couple times, and then runs away.
This is such a nice distraction maneuver by Melodies as well, splitting the attention of Soa on the right-hand side. Look at Sorry, he's completely falling for it, chasing down the Genji, although he should have been aware that there was no way Tychus can catch up to Melodies either. So without breaking much of a sweat here, SPT gets a full shield, full health Immortal, and this Tetra is looking like the SPT that we're used to seeing.
Yes, it is. With Globe stolen away by Soa, though, they prepare for the defense. The Immortal coming in. Genji on his way. It's going to be a 4 versus 4 push with the Immortal. As with almost a full shield, this is going to be scary. First tower, immediately down. Kong pulled out of base and then stunned up. Throw on Zarya, much easier to hit target, but Klong moving forward to protect Zarya. Indomitable, easy peasy, used by Misaka to prevent the pull-in there by the Arthas, or the Brute by Arthas.
SPT is just toying with their opponents at this moment. They're dodging all of those abilities with a Soap on the Maiev. The Indomitable Misaka was just pulled at the very right moment to dodge the Howling Blast by Klong. They're just playing this so well without overextending, mind you. Look at Misaka. He's just pushing Arthas and Zarya back like an absolute champion. They're toying with their opponents, but they're also making sure that they don't overextend and they don't overstay their welcome. So this is just a very cool performance, a very solid performance by SPT. Looks like in game 1 they were trying to go for something out of the ordinary, but this game you can definitely tell that they're taking it very seriously.
Fort in the top lane does survive though, so SPT Going to have to re-push in there at a later date, or take some mercenaries, but Soa throwing their weight around here if they are even on levels, looking to steal away the mercenary caps themselves, begin pushing in the top lane as a counter-attack.
Yeah, Uncle G dropping those shields a little bit on his allies, preferably the main tank, while he's absorbing some of the forward shots here. Now they're trying to go in. The grenades are raining down from the skies. Misaka is taking quite a considerable amount of damage. Look at Soap. He just won't stop cleaving the fan of knives. So much damage, so much pressure coming in from Maiev alone.
Raining that little bit of extra damage from those little shooting stars. I don't know the exact name of those. I can't remember off the top of my head. Faye, though, has been doing a fantastic job cleaning up this spot, mate. Say again, sorry?
I think Maiev is just shooting daggers and knives at their opponents, right? That's what it's called.
Yes, but when you notice that she has a talent that allows her to basically get what look like the moon fires coming down. Lunar showers, I think they might be called, but I will double check. It is a talent of hers.
Interesting. Speaking of Maiev, by the way, I was... like a few days ago, I finished reading Wolfheart, one of the World of Warcraft novels, and a fantastic read, by the way. Definitely recommend checking it out. And there you can actually learn something about Maiev's lore background as well. Definitely worth reading. Of course, the main story plot is about Garrosh and Varian and their rivalry, but even if you're a Night Elf tree hugger like myself, you're going to find loads of lore.
There is the expulsion zone being used. ZZ8 is the target. The Warden's Cage, though, for the protection. Very nice. Allows them to try and turn it around. Genji moving in with the Dragonblade. Looking for the kill. So much armor is applied. Last right and the Dragonblade kill of Uncle G. Klong is pulled back in with the tether. And down he goes.
Riptire. Coming all the way from the side. Surprising Genji getting him. Whoa!
Only getting one. Genji sacrificing himself. That could have maybe got more, but a lovely split by SPT. Genji being the one to sacrifice himself there. Also, I was correct. Elun's Wrath, Fan of Lives drops a star on targets when it hits 2 or more heroes with a single Fan of Lives.
Okay, Tetra, can we just say that despite the fact that Soa lost this engagement, that was the sneakiest Riptire kill I have ever seen in my life. It looked like that Riptire came out of nowhere and surprised Genji. I'm not even sure if he had his deflect ready. I guess it was probably on cooldown because of the team fight that took down a few moments earlier, but that was just sneaky Fei Yi. You can't do that. I'm pretty sure that's not allowed.
Yeah. He popped it very quickly as well. Just a nice little explosion at the on the outskirts because he knew that Genji had no hit points left. Moving in for Klong once again, pulling him in last. Right, down he goes.
Yeah, last rights, of course, getting so much value on a high HP target like Arthas, but Soa is not done just yet. They're trying to make something work here. Tranquility has been used, but Maiev, so reset after reset. He keeps spamming those knives and escapes at the very last seconds. You gotta be kidding me.
He just stood in the total mayhem and nearly died, but so able to pick up so many kills there, using that Elun's Wrath and Blade Darts, just getting all of the damage done.
All of that damage, just like Molly, by the way, who didn't even continue to chase here. He realized that his consistent damage from his trade, from the Rip Souls, is going to be so useful when it comes to destroying this Immortal. And almost single-handedly did he finish it. Molly, that is. Only to go back in time, though, of course, because they need to replenish mana and health. So now with combined efforts, I think SPT is going to push with yet another Immortal in the bottom.
Tranquility. This is the kind of comp I don't agree with it. What are you planning to block? A Dragon Blade? It's just going to get through. It out damages you quite significantly. You could potentially block. You could potentially drop the block the what's it called? The last rights. I forgot the name of that there for a second. But as we see SPT pushing in, Malfurion is going to try and stop a house fire with a garden hose.
You go tell him, amen, brother. Tranquility, I don't understand why so many Chinese teams end up picking it, but here we go. Here's Pop, and here goes another team fight.
Misaka does go down, though, to Tranquility, working out pretty well this time due to the incredible distraction of Arthas there in the front line. But Genji able to escape and sneak to the side. So in serious trouble. That is an easily one-fight teleport.
Oh, watch why you teleport!
I think he thought he could turn around and fight, but he certainly couldn't. Belly's even moving back in. Needs to be careful of Tyker's grenades and the such.
All right, well, a little bit of an overextension here by Soap. His Avatar of Vengeance was already over the wall, so he could have actually jumped there. But I think Arthas was already on the chase there as well, so he probably would have gotten slowed and maybe rooted there. So Soap decided to go for a death, the death of a warrior here, going down in the fight, not running away. But now, of course, all the heroes for SPT have been respawned. Now, can they invade this Impaler camp? I don't think they should. I don't think they can. Genji going in anyways, though.
Indeed, poking in nicely. Brute lands. That is probably, in hindsight, what did it. Indomitable through the expulsion zone. Misaka barely makes it. So, with the temper pulling in everyone last. Right, another kill. The volley is so point blank, leaping onto their heads. And so teleports over the wall. 2 for 1. Great trade, and Faye once again is holding his team together.
Wow. Riptire and Zarya grenades, the Overwatch combo of doom, so much damage. Uncle G is not done just yet. He's willing to keep up the pressure, to keep up the fight here. Malfurion's healing, of course, keeping him alive there. And all of a sudden, the lines of SPT have been decimated here. Melody C wants to go in, still has to deflect, has the Divine Dragon Blade, goes in, but the shields are so good on Faye.
Very nice shields from Zarya, keeping the team alive. There's the deflect going, the damage from Tychus just killed off Malfurion.
No way.
Down goes Tychus. So, turning it round, continues to drop a nice leap there and gets out with the Spirit of Vengeance. But yeah, the Tychus and Zarya damage deflected onto Malfurion and got him killed. Get rooted though. Greedy Genji gets himself killed off.
Greedy Genji, the expulsion zone here, aim to save the Arthas. There goes the last rights. That secures that kill, and they may even get another one on Uncle G, who's still dangerously close to Molly and Misaka.
And Molly's got Die Alone, an easy pickup kill there. And SPT, despite a little sloppy play every now and again, are doing so good. 4 stacks on last rights already.
SPT is angry. They are furious. They want those kills. They want to take down Soa. To me, it feels like right now, SPT just doesn't want to win this team fight or this game. They want to humiliate their opponents who took down their exotic composition in game number 1. And as such, here goes the Riptire, 38 armor. He's trying to actually deflect it as well. Now run, Misaka, run. Can you do it? The grenade is barely enough. 50 armor now for Misaka. That's the highest he could possibly get.
Survived by healing off of the Riptire before it exploded on him. What a heads-up play that was. I am so impressed.
Can you even imagine how much of... Like, how do you even have the nerves to do all that? Melody C actually breaking through as well, triggering the halftime show all by himself. But the nerves by Misaka, as you said, to use Garrosh's self-healing onto the Riptire that was about to execute him. Fantastic play.
That just... I love that kind of thing. Imagine that going through your head as well. Guys, there's a huge explosive coming towards us. Let me get my axe.
Take a bite of that tire.
Holding the line. Protecting his team as they put pressure onto the enemy immortal SPT though. Back up and split, making sure they don't get locked down by Arthas. Exactly what they want to avoid right now.
Yep, strong scout here by Molly, finding the position of Arthas, and now they need to use the poke. I mean, there's only limited poke available for SPT, maybe Genji, maybe, you know, the Malthael. They can deal a little bit of poke damage here. Genji, by the way, using Deflect here, getting cleansed by Uther, sorry. But the fight is still raging on. Klong is determined to find someone. The Army of the Dead has been summoned.
Riptire coming in, everyone's running away and splitting and dodging. Riptire only lands on one member, it doesn't do that much damage. Getting with the Divine Shield on him, stays alive. There's the last right, getting no value this time. So
SPT needs to run.
Drop damage as well. Yeah, SPT absolutely getting outplayed in this fight, but they all escape.
Look at Genji. Look at Melody C. Despite being brought so low, he remains calm and collected. He realizes that the entire team of Soa is now so focused on destroying the enemy immortal, they can even race it out. They can race it.
He's trying, he's trying, it's gonna get it. 8 health, and down it goes to 0. Merly C gets out, even a Swift Strike to remove himself from danger. Misaka is able to play dodgeball with the grenades of Junkrat, and that's another immortal going over to SPT, but that one was much less easy.
Absolutely mind-blowing. The plays that happen in this game from both sides, mind you. I think Soa has been doing such a good job locking people down, staying alive, and putting up the pressure against SPT. But by the same token, SPT just proves to be so smart, so clever in this game. They always find a way to deal with Soa. They always find a way around their opponents to finish the objective. And yet again, although a tiny, weak immortal here, it is still an immortal pushing alongside Soa in their face. Oh.
Huge protection plays there by TY and Uncle G, keeping Klong alive through the so much health that Last Rites did not finish the job. Riptide into a lovely split by SPT, having to be used on minions for wave clear. As the push comes in, Melly C once again deflecting the damage from Zarya and leaping back over the wall to join in. This time they won't get Klong again. Genji having a deflect, but taking so much damage, he will almost certainly fall here. Grenade gets the kill. The Spire, though, with the device, with the extra healing going in, spreads the members with that Umbral Bind. And sorry, will go down as well. That is a massacre. Somehow Maiev survived there. Faye was able to leap to freedom with the grenade, but that Umbral Bind from Soap was the game changer there.
Soap is absolutely shredding, tearing, slicing, whatever you want to call it, through the enemy lines here. Look at Melody C getting caught out of position. Sorry with a nice kill. Good pickup there. But now it is the Soap show. Look at him in the thick of things here. Getting empowered by Uther, having the Armored Assault 16, which causes him to get bonus damage whenever he receives armor, which is exactly what Uther does here. Of course, armor can also be obtained by using the 13 talent, the Q reset. So whenever Maiev uses a Fan of Knives against enemy heroes, she will gain armor herself. So permanently, you have that bonus damage available. That is turning Soap into this late game powerhouse. And I don't even want to know what his hero damage numbers are right now.
New rule, we're calling that kind of move with, on Maiev from Soap the Primetime Soapbox, as he is able to just take so much control. He's even doing the Mercenary Camp in the bot lane for his team. Malthael got the one in top lane. He ports back to base as well to get himself all the healing.
Soap's cage, I like it.
Yeah, like that might just be a British reference, the Primetime Soapbox, but I still like it.
I didn't get it, but it sounded so fancy that I liked it.
Okay. A soapbox is basically like a soap is a TV type of TV show, and a soapbox is basically a TV,
like a daily soap.
Time is the optimum, yeah. And a prime time is the best time for a TV show to go on at the end. There you go. All right. Down the reference as we see a lovely bait by Soa, just nice and calm. This is ours now. Goodbye. As they move in and start to burn down SPT's Immortal.
Yeah, very strong invade, securing the Bruiser camp, which is definitely worth doing. Now Soap needs to stay safe here, and he does exactly that with the with the Avatar of Vengeance. Look at Melody C, though. He is actually leading his team, and he's trying to single-handedly take down that keep all by himself like a sneaky Genji main would. And that is a good move. And look at bottom as well. There's another keep getting pressured. Soa, they need this objective. If they don't get it, or even if they lose a team fight right now, everything might shatter. Everything might crumble right here, right now.
And you can see here, the SPT, they're moving in. They're just trying to delay at this point while the Impalers gain that value. And they're looking for the kill. The Divine Shield Dragon Blade being used. Nice Ice Block with the Tranquility on top as well. Here's the Warden's Cage being dropped. Big time. Huge damage onto CCH. CCH is going to sacrifice himself here. Moving forward, the Genji damage is huge. The Dragon Blade still going with those Storm Tier talents. Finally cancels out, but sorry taken out as well. Redemption on Uther with level 20. He sacrificed himself because he could. And now they move forward. Klong is gonna get taken out. TY will survive, but he cannot defend the core alone. The Immortal's not even being taken.
CZH giving his life on Uther only to drop a well-met from the depths, from the heavens, before he returns to battle and continues his assault here. Very well done, SPT. They're on the core. They took down the keep earlier with Misaka going for a solo backdoor attempt here. And already, this is going to be the tie that SPT was looking for after a very bizarre, exotic first game. They take down Soa and they take back what was meant to be theirs. One more point. They maintain the same place as the one who were also able to play 1-1 earlier. So strong performance by SPT finally.